Hey there, tech fans. Rick here again with a quick review of the DJI Air 3 drone. In today's video, I'll explain what makes this drone so special and why I think it's the perfect drone for any consumer that's looking for a little better drone to capture some incredibly good footage, or if you decide you want to do some commercial work and inspect roofs or scan fields, or maybe you want to head out and capture some photos that you can put up online. This could be the perfect drone for you for all the reasons I'm about to get into. Now, the Air 3 drone is the latest iteration of what I'll call DJI's midsize drones. They make a mini series that are under 250 grams. They make an enterprise series, which is really a commercial level drone. And this drone fits right in the middle. It's right in that Goldilocks zone where it's got a lot of the features of the more complicated drones built into it, yet it's in the price range for most consumers where they'll find a drone that you really won't need anything that this drone doesn't provide. I think it's really, in a lot of ways, the last drone you're going to see from DJI in this mid-range space, because I've been flying their drones for years, and I can't think of a single thing that I'd want in this drone that isn't in there today. So let me get started with the specs, and I'll talk a little bit about why these specifications matter. All right, for starters, the drone itself is built to fly for an incredibly long time. They've actually built this drone with technology inside that's very frugal about the way it uses power. It actually is incredibly smart with the battery being intelligent and the drone being intelligent. So this drone can stay up in the air for up to 46 minutes on a single charge on a single battery, which is absolutely incredible for a drone of this size. Normally mid-sized drones like this may get 20 minutes, 25 minutes if you're lucky. This one up to 46 minutes, and that's plenty of time to get up in the air, to get out on a target, capture some beautiful footage, and have plenty of time to get back and land safely. So I love the fact that it flies incredibly long. They've also built in a proprietary connection technology between the drone and the controller called accusync, which is a smart technology. It actually creates a conversation between the controller and the drone, and it's watching the frequencies that it's transmitting over. And if that frequency starts to get a little bit dirty or a little bit busy, it knows that. Maybe there's interference in the area from Wi-Fi or microwave ovens or who knows what. If it gets busy, it can actually switch to another frequency instantaneously to maintain your connection. And because of that, you'll never have to worry about this drone breaking connection with the controller and heading off for the horizon. It'll actually fly up to 20 kilometers away. Now, you can't really fly that far in the United States because we have a visual line of sight requirement, which means you have to keep the drone in your line of sight. But knowing you could fly 20 kilometers means you'll never have a worry about the drone losing connection in close. So when you're flying around trees or you dip behind a building for a second, you'll still have that connection. The other thing it does for you is deliver a live feed from the camera back to the controller at 1080p. So you're looking at the screen, you're seeing exactly what the drone's seeing, which is great because you can avoid obstacles, you can frame your shot perfectly. So in a lot of ways, it's like you're Superman out there strapped to the bottom of the drone. When you're flying around, you're going to have that view. So incredible amount of distance there. And again, the solid connection is important. The other thing that's really interesting, because you're buying a camera drone here, is that the camera actually has two sensors on the front. They're both 1/1.3-inch sensors, but you're getting both a wide angle and a medium telephoto. Now, the reason that's important is because if you're out flying in the wilderness and you've got wildlife out there and you want to capture a picture of a deer or a buffalo or a snowy white egret, whatever it happens to be, if you get too close to the drone, even though this is an incredibly quiet drone, that animal might hear it and you might spook them and they'll run away on you. You won't get the shot. With this one, you can stay a good distance away and you can pull in with that telephoto and get that shot you need, and it's crystal clear. So I love that fact. It's also perfect if you're doing inspections, because if you're doing a roof inspection, you don't want to get too close to the roof, so you can stay 30, 40 feet off the roof and pull in tight on any particular area that you need to get a picture of or take some video of to show the homeowner. So both of those cameras are easily switched between using the controls in the unit. The other thing I love about this is the smart controller, because they built a controller here that has a dedicated Android system inside that actually runs the application. You've got a beautiful 800 nit screen on the front where you get a nice bright picture where you can see what's going on. And the beautiful part about it is it's an all-in-one unit. So you basically charge this, charge the battery, and then head out and have a lot of fun flying. You don't have to worry about loading it up your camera, loading up your phone with the application and connecting it with a cable. I mean, they do make a controller that does that. And if you're looking to use your phone or a larger tablet, that controller might be okay. But I love this integrated controller. I just feel like it just makes this whole system so easy to fly. In addition to that, DJI's built in a lot of safety features, and that's really important to talk about because This is an investment. You want to protect that investment. So some of the safety features start with things like automatic return to home. So if something happens in the drone where the compass gets a little out of whack, or maybe the batteries are getting too low for you to make it back safely, the drone will actually take over, elevate to a height that you've set in the application, spin to face your home point, fly all the way back and land pretty much where it took off. So that protection's built in. If it senses any kind of gyroscopic issues, interference, loss of connection with the controller because you went down behind a stand of trees pretty far away, that's going to kick in, it's going to return to home safely. They've also built in what I'll call crash avoidance, which is 360 degrees. It's like a virtual bubble around the drone when you're flying where it can see things ahead of it. And if you're heading for a tree because you're not paying attention, because you got excited, you're out there flying, it sees the tree. When you get close, it's going to pull back. It's going to make a lot of noise to let you know you're approaching an obstacle, but it's also going to protect you and pull back, which I think is wonderful. There's another feature built in here, which is like Martian technology called APAS. It's Advanced Pilot Assistance System. And what that APAS does is, unlike crash avoidance that's looking for solid objects, APAS is looking for holes between those solid objects, because when you fly into a forest and you've got trees all around you, the APAS software already knows where the holes are that the drone can fit through. So as you fly through that landscape, the drone will constantly, actively dodge trees and find the holes so you can make it through that landscape. So those safety features alone are enough to protect the drone when it's up in the air. You're going to be careful as a pilot, but knowing I've got a co-pilot that's built into the drone really make things a lot easier for me. Then the last thing I want to talk about is the automated features. This drone has a ton of artificial intelligence built in, and there are pre-programmed flight mechanisms built into this where you can tap a button and have the drone focus on you, follow you around the area, woods or whatever, follow your car, follow you on your bike. It also has the ability to fly away from you and keep you in the center of the frame, circle you with the tap of a button, and a bunch of other built-in modes that you can use. And the reason I think that's really cool is because if you're flying for the first time, you're probably started on a smaller drone and you can easily transition to this, and maybe you're a great pilot. But those built-in features allow anybody that's flying this drone, pretty much the day they buy it, to get out there and capture some incredibly cool footage just by tapping a couple of buttons and knowing that it's got crash avoidance built in, so you can trust it to do that flight pattern around you and not run into something. But the other reason that's important is because even though you're an experienced pilot, and I've been flying for years, there are times where you need to get a shot and you don't have time. You don't want to rush, but you don't have enough time to really get that perfect circle around a particular area. So hitting a button and having the drone do it automatically, once I pick my point of interest, is just makes things so much easier, especially in a commercial environment where you may be out trying to get 3 or 4 jobs done in a day. So the artificial intelligence, absolutely incredible. And that's pretty much all I had. Again, there are other drones in the market you can compare this to, but I want you to keep in mind that DJI is a company that's been building these kind of automated flying robots for well over 10 years, and they've got a lot of history in the space. They're incredibly smart people, and they built a drone here that, again, I said at the beginning of this clip, I don't know what I'd want that this drone doesn't provide today. I can't think of a single thing that DJI could build into the Air 4 that would get me interested in that quad. This is the one I'm flying. This is the one I recommend, and I think you're going to like it an awful lot. So thanks again for watching, and until next time, as always, stay nerdy.